How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you today about 5 SPACs that are right around $10. All of them, I believe, started trading yesterday on the 15th on Friday, and a lot of them jumped up, but I think we can see they start to fall down a little bit after the initial day. So I'll show you the 5 SPACs. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out and invest in these. I'm just saying that these are right around $10, which is what most people try to get, because of the fact that they really can't fall too much below $10, for the fact that if they do, and they do that before they merge, or let's say they don't get a merger target, then you can call to your broker and try to get and you can get $10 back for each share. So that's why it's really attractive to get into these SPACs early. Now, I also want to talk to you about one of my biggest secrets. So I'll explain that in a minute, but it has to do with these SPACs. So if you guys like this, please leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already done that. If you guys want, there's a link down there to WeBull. If you want to help out the channel, you can sign up, get some free stocks, and all you have to do is deposit $100 to get those, and then I get some too, so I really appreciate that. And there's also a link down there to Patreon. If you guys want to see everything that I'm buying and selling in real time, you can check out that link and get the information a little bit quicker. So I really appreciate that. There are over 3,700 people in there. So it's not just that you get to see what I'm buying and selling, but you get to talk to 3,700 other people that are trying to find the next best stock. So definitely check that out down below if you're interested. So we are talking about SPACs today. SPACs were one of the best performing asset classes in 2020. They've been blowing up this year already. There have been a ton of them just throughout the first 2 weeks of the year, and I think we're going to continue to see that going forward. Now, what I want to do is talk about some of the newest SPACs that are still very inexpensive. Now, I'm not going to go and break them down or anything like that. If you guys want, though, if you guys take a look at the companies, you can get back to me, say, okay, this one looks really interesting for this reason, and then I might look into it a little bit more. But right now, it's just kind of trying to give you some short, quick information so you can go perform some more research and then see if you want to buy into these SPACs. So just first of all, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your research on these. So the first one is GNACU. I'll tell you how much it is in just a second, but we'll take a look at what they're actually trying to merge with. So if you look here, they announced a pricing of $200 million for their IPO. It started on January 15, ticker is EACPU. They're looking to combine with a business in digital media or adjacent industries, including social media, e-commerce, or events. So if you look at what the company's at now, it's right about $11. Again, it just started trading yesterday. Now it's at $11, so take that into account. The next one we're looking at is TBA. So they are TBA, who they're going to merge with, but it's Tama Bravo Advantage. So they are doing a $900 million IPO. They are going to combine with a market-leading, fast-growing software franchise with reoccurring revenue streams in a fragmented market. That's who they're trying to merge with. You can see their CEO and their CFO there. This is what I was kind of talking about. There are 52 now. The other one that we just covered, 53 SPACs with over $14 billion raised. Now this one is sitting right around $12. So blew up pretty quickly, right from 10 on the one day, and then it kind of leveled off. So what you'll see is a lot of these will have an initial bump pretty much straight up, and then they'll start to level off a little bit. So in my mind, the right play might be to not buy it right when it opens, but wait a day or two and see it come back down a little bit, with people taking their initial 10% profit on it. Then we can move down the line. HCICU, $300 million IPO. And this is SPACinsider.com for anyone that's interested. I don't have an affiliation with them, but you can check it out if you want. They announced the pricing of a $300 million IPO. The ticker is HCICU, and they're looking to combine with a sustainable industrial technology or infrastructure business, such as an advanced mobility or renewable fuel developer. This could be pretty important if they can merge with someone like that, because infrastructure is going to be very important with Biden's new plan, and renewable fuel development is huge. I mean, look at some of the hydrogen companies that have been blowing up recently. Look at Plug Power. They have been on the cutting edge, and a lot of people have been investing in them. So that one is sitting right around And I actually have to use different websites because now these show up on Google like this. Not all of them show up because they're so new. But HCICU is right around $11 now. So it had gone up to $11.40 and then kind of dropped off throughout the day. The next one, HCCCU, they have 240 million that they're playing with here. And this went live also on Friday. So they're going into the healthcare business, focusing on digital and telehealth, life sciences, and innovative medical devices. So this one's actually sitting a little bit low at about $10.22. Now, it actually went down a little bit after hours, so $10.18. So pretty low on that one. And then we also have ADERU, $240 million IPO. This is the last one that we'll kind of take a look at, but the name is 26 Capital Acquisition Corp. The ticker is ADERU, and they're looking to merge with a gaming, e-commerce, or entertainment business that harbors on unexploited growth or acquisition opportunities. This one's sitting around $10.55, so this one's also pretty low. Now, the reason I'm talking about like my biggest secret is because I am cautiously optimistic of how the market will do in 2021. However, we have had one of the worst economic events in history in 2020. So I see the case where we could go through a bear market. And right now, everything's pandemonium. Everyone's investing a ton of money. People are buying penny stocks all over the place. It seems like there's a new stock that's going up like 100% a day, like multiple every day. And of course that happens a lot, but right now everyone seems very bullish. And my secret is I'm actually holding on to a good amount of cash, and I'll explain how I'm actually getting a pretty good return on that cash. So just right off the bat, I'm not holding it because I think that there's going to be a market crash or anything like that. However, I'm holding it because I'm saving up for a house, so I need a lot of cash for that. And I'm using that to my advantage by being able to invest. If the market dips, I'm going to put some of that money into the market, and I've been putting money in the market anyways. I've been putting a lot of money in the market, and I think there are two main things though that are going to set this apart from someone that's just sitting on cash in their bank account. So that's how most people sit on cash. They put in their bank account, maybe they put in their brokerage account, they get 1% interest or something like that. Now, something that I think is a little bit different, maybe a little bit riskier, but a better use is to put your capital in two different things. First of all, you can put it in SPACs. So what I've been doing is there are a couple SPACs that I have bought that are pretty close to $10. Like MCAC is a SPAC that is not new, but it is sitting right around $11.50. I bought it at $10.45 just a few weeks ago, and I bought a decent amount. Now, the reason I say that this is like sitting on cash is because SPACs rarely fall under $10. So when I bought it at $10.45, I had very little risk. And actually, this one's interesting because in their SEC documents, maybe I'll link to it on the end screen, my full video on Mountain Crest, they said that their shares can't fall below $10.20, or if they do, you can call to your broker and get your $10.20. So this one presented half the downside risk, and they're merging with Playboy, if you didn't know, so they have a lot of potential on the upside. So I got about a 10% return in a few weeks on my money in this. So what I'm saying is you can almost sit on cash. You just have to be careful of the dates. You have to realize that there is risk, but you can almost sit on cash if you're willing to take the risk and put it in SPACs. The other thing that I'm doing, and I might do more of this soon, the problem with SPACs is it's hard to find these around $10 now for ones that actually have a good amount of potential. So the other thing that I'm going to start doing, and I actually talked about this in my video from earlier today, is sit on cash in BlockFi. So just heads up, this is an affiliate of the channel. There is a link down below if you're interested, but they have different cryptocurrencies you can hold. But I'm not talking about cryptocurrencies as holding on to cash, because that is such a fluctuating asset that it's really its own asset class. But if you look at stablecoin, if you don't know what stablecoin is, it's a coin that's tied to the US dollar. It's tied to a certain currency. Mine, GUSD, is tied to the US dollar, so it does not fluctuate in price. it stays right at this level all the time, but you can essentially trade it out for cash later. So I put money in. This actually gives you interest, so that's why I'm interested in it, because it gives you an 8.6% interest rate on GUSD. And I'm basically sitting on cash. Now, I might put more money in here soon. I think that obviously you want a little cash cushion in your checking account just to make sure, you can pay for whatever expenses. Personally, I like to keep a little bit of cash in my brokerage accounts just in case it's after hours. Some of the ones I use, you can't put money in after hours and have it credited to your account. So we have a lot of benefits here in America, but that's not one of them for our brokerage accounts. So I keep a little bit of cash in there just in case I want to throw money at something after hours. And then I think you should keep some cash just kind of in something that gives you some interest. So this one pays 8.6%. It's a really good return when you consider the market indexes, or like the S&P 500 average right around 8 to 10% a year. It pays you in interest about what the indexes return. I think is really attractive. Now, just keep in mind, this is not FDIC insured because this is not a bank. FDIC insurance is for banks. I feel very comfortable with it. I know a lot of people that have invested in this and have large amounts of money. I mean, Andre Jick, one of the biggest YouTubers out there, has $500,000 and talks about this company all the time. The Winklevoss twins are investors. They have hundreds of millions of dollars in investments from large institutions. We have a couple universities that have invested in this. There's an NBA player that's invested in BlockFi. So I feel comfortable with the risk, but just know that it's not FDIC insured. But that is where I'm considering putting more of my money on the sidelines, just because it will give me a nice interest rate. So I think that's really my biggest secret, just because I believe that it is nice to have some money that's working for you still, but has very little downside risk. And I think we can get some asymmetric risk and returns with these two different ways of holding cash almost. I understand some people will say that's not holding cash or something like that because there is risk, but it's so asymmetric. Point out, 10 SPACs this year that have lost money below $10. Point out SPACs that you've invested in that have lost money that you bought around $10 or $11. I would think it's very hard to find some. Most SPACs you get in and then they start rising up, especially after they announce who they're merging with. Then they're sitting around $13 to $17 at least. So definitely consider this. Just know I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. I hope you guys like this. If you did, please let me know in the comments because this is a little bit of a different video. I might do them in the future. Maybe I could do this as like a weekly thing, like 5 new SPACs that are right around $10 or something like that. And then you guys can do some more research. Let me know if any of these are really interesting to you, or if the management team is really interesting or something like that. I might do a full video on it if there's something that really draws my attention. Thank you guys. Again, there's a link down there to Patreon. If you guys want to see the video on MCAC, the company that's merging with Playboy, you can check out the video here. And if you want to see the video a little bit earlier today on the investment that ARK Invest thinks could 5x, you can check out this video here. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.